Hey you guys, I am back and I just wanted to talk to you guys about some current events that are going on. The first event took place in Portland, Oregon, and I don't know if you guys have seen the mugshot that's going around of a guy with face tattoos, and then the next photo is a face without the tattoos. They're gone. So I wanted to look into this story, and this comes out of the Washington Post. Witnesses didn't say a bank robber had facial tattoos. So, police digitally altered a suspect's mugshot. Let's see what they're talking about. It would be hard to miss Tyrone Lamont Allen's facial tattoos. The 50-year-old's forehead is covered in delicate script, reaching from his eyebrows to his hairline. A single teardrop appears under his left eye, while his right cheek is unmistakably inked with a looping design. So when authorities got a tip that Allen was behind a string of bank robberies in Portland, Oregon in April of 2017, there was one major problem. None of the tellers had mentioned seeing any tattoos on the robber's face. Surveillance footage, too, showed a man with no visible tattoos. Yet Allen was charged with the crime after police took an unusual step. The Oregon First reported Friday investigators used Photoshop to digitally alter his mugshot, covering up his distinctive tattoos. Two of the tellers who weren't told that the image had been edited subsequently picked him out of a photo array of 5 similar-looking men and identified him as the robber. Now a federal judge in Oregon is tasked with determining whether that crucial evidence should be thrown out of court and whether Allen's rights were violated. His attorney, Mark Allegheimer, argued that the question has weighty implications, given that today's technology makes it easier than ever to manipulate a photograph. If covering up a suspect's prominent facial tattoos is considered fair game, the federal public defender wrote in a recent motion, there will presumably be nothing wrong with adjusting various pixels to make someone's face appear slimmer, so long as the government's theory was that the suspect had gained weight since the crime. Allen faces 3 counts of robbery and 1 count of attempted robbery, all stemming from holdups that took place in northeast Portland in early April of 2017. The culprit, nicknamed the Foul-Mouthed Bandit by police because of his frequent use of profanity, made trips to 4 banks and credit unions over the course of 4 days, each time claiming he had a gun and demanding cash. All but one of the tellers complied, and the robber ultimately walked off with more than $14,000. The same month, Allen was arrested after police stopped him on the freeway for driving a car with no license plates, headlights, or taillights, according to criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District of Oregon in May of 2017. Officers found a glass pipe inside his pocket. Another pipe, which appeared to have drug residue on it, was underneath the driver's seat. Later, police got a call from a tipster who knew Allen through a mutual friend and asked to remain anonymous for his safety. The tipster said his friend had shown him Allen's mugshot along with surveillance footage of the serial bank robber that appeared on KPTV. His head immediately started spinning. He said, explaining that the robber looked just like Allen, but without the tattoos. Though one of the tellers had mentioned seeing faded tattoos on the robber's neck, and another had noticed tattoos on his hand, none described him with any ink on his face. Investigators subsequently used Photoshop to paint over Allen's tattoos and showed them to the tellers in a double-blind lineup. Court filings say, according to the criminal complaint, only 2 of the 4 tellers identified Allen as the robber. One picked a different man from the lineup, while another was unable to decide. Police also searched the car that Allen had been driving when he was arrested, which was full of clothing and looked like he had been living in it. They found several black hooded sweatshirts, 2 pairs of gray sweatpants, 1 pair of burgundy sweatpants, and a gray ski mask, which they said matched the clothing that the foul-mouthed bandit had been wearing during 2 recent robberies. Last month, when Allen's attorney discovered his client's mugshot had been digitally manipulated before it was added to a lineup, he filed a motion to have the evidence thrown out of court. In response, prosecutors argued the robber's immutable facial features looked enough like Allen's to justify adding him to the photo array, noting that he could have put makeup on before committing the robberies. Allen should not reap a windfall because the investigators were able to take steps to counteract his efforts to disguise his identity. Assistant U.S. Attorney Paul T. Maloney wrote, by using Photoshop to paint over Allen's tattoos, he argued investigators simply applied the digital equivalent of makeup. Police have also justified the move by arguing that Allen's tattoo could have been distracting to witnesses tasked with picking out the culprit from a photo lineup. During a Wednesday hearing, Portland Police Detective Brett Hawkinson testified the point of altering the mugshot was to mask things that would stand out, the Oregon reported. Allenheimer, the defense attorney, claimed the Photoshop job had a different motivation. It made his client look more like the perpetrator. Admitting the results into evidence could be a slippery slope, he argued. If a witness reports that a perpetrator did not have any front teeth, can the government simply black out the suspect's teeth on a theory that it could be done with cosmetics, he wrote? Or if a suspect's skin color is too dark or too light as compared to objective video evidence, can the government simply press a few strokes on a computer keyboard and adjust the color to match the objective evidence? Those questions largely haven't been tested in court before, but Allen apparently isn't the only one whose mugshot was digitally altered by Portland Police Bureau. According to the Oregon, Mark Weber, the forensic criminalist who painted over the tattoos, testified he had edited other suspects' photos for lineups before and didn't write up a report because the police department doesn't require it. U.S. District Judge Marco A. Hernandez says he has plans to issue a written ruling on the issue on paper, reported. So, oh my goodness. And the questions that are asked by the attorney Allenheimer, those are valid questions. If I don't have any teeth in my mouth and somebody says, oh, this toothless person came to my door and robbed me, could you then go in and manipulate my picture or mugshot to not have teeth in my mouth? Like, that's crazy. Comment down below your thoughts on that story, please. So then we get down to Dallas, Texas, and we have this very, very disturbing story about a 9-year-old girl who got caught up in a rat beef that was not her own. And I just think this is terrible. So give me just a minute to pull this up because it's just not working. So this is coming out of Dallas, Texas, and we are on the website, thecharlotteobserver.com. The 9-year-old Dallas girl who was shot in a gang-related gunfire this week was killed by accident during a feud between 2 rappers, according to police. Dallas police said in a news release Thursday that Tyrese Simmons, a 19-year-old rapper, is the main suspect in the death of a 9-year-old girl named Brandania Bennett. Simmons has turned himself in. Simmons went to an apartment building on Munger Avenue in Old East Dallas around 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday to confront someone, but the person would not come out, according to police. So Simmons circled around to the back of the apartment complex and opened fire on the wrong apartment, fatally striking Brandania, who was inside at the time. According to police, the gunman, an intended target used social media to disparage one another in an argument that ultimately led to the shooting. Police described Simmons as upset over the rivals' diss track, according to CBS DFW. The TV station reported that Brandon was simply sitting on her couch when she was struck by a bullet in the head. Police said the girl had nothing to do with either rapper, Fox 4 reports. That's terrible. My condolences to Brandonia's family. Her school that she was attending. This baby was getting ready for school in the morning. It was reported that she was painting her fingernails in the midst of the shooting, and she got hit. So, just really take a look around at things and really just protect yourself. I know that these shootings are very random and stuff, but we got to look at what's going on around here and look at, who you're aiming at. Honestly, that's crazy. And like I said, my condolences to the family and her friends. But, I'm going to keep rolling. Comment down below your thoughts. Eric Garner's family fired officer. Both vowed to keep fighting after NYPD decision. And this is coming from USA Today. The family of Eric Garner vowed to Tuesday to continue their fight for justice as the New York police officer fired for placing their father in a chokehold said he'd appeal the decision. So Daniel Pantaleo is going to appeal that decision. Okay. NYPD Commissioner James O'Neill announced Monday that Officer Daniel Pantaleo would be dismissed 5 years after the incident that led to Garner's death. Garner, who was black, died after being placed in the banned chokehold by Pantaleo, who is white, outside a Staten Island convenience store. Garner repeatedly shouted, "I can't breathe," which later became a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. Garner's son, Eric Garner Jr., told NY1 Tuesday morning he wants to see Pantaleo in jail. "It had been 5 long years, and we're still going to fight," he said. Garner Jr. also said it is a relief when he heard O'Neill's decision. What Commissioner O'Neill did was what every public official should do in this situation, Garner family attorney Jonathan Moore said on the news program. Moore said the family would turn to advocating for a state law to make chokeholds illegal and calling for administrative reviews within the police department for the other officers involved in the case. Their role in this should be examined from a disciplinary standpoint, he said. The calls echo those of Garner's daughter, Emerald Snipes Garner, on Monday. Snipes Garner praised the decision to fire Pantaleo, but said more needs to be done, hold other officers accountable in the case, and improve policing practices. "I should not be here standing with my brother fatherless," Snipes Garner said. She thanked O'Neill for doing the right thing, but said Pantaleo should have been fired 5 years ago. Snipes Garner said she wants congressional hearings and will continue to push to have the criminal case reopened. Pantaleo was never charged, but Snipes Garner said she believes some officers lied to a state jury and provided conflicting accounts about what happened the day her father died. Garner, 43, was accused of illegally selling cigarettes outside the convenience store when officers attempted to arrest him in a struggle captured on video. Garner gasped repeatedly that he could not breathe after Pantaleo and other officers knocked him to the ground. Garner's death was ruled a homicide, and an autopsy report said the chokehold was in part of what caused his death. O'Neill said Pantaleo was correct when he initially used the chokehold, but that when Garner was under control, he should have switched to a less lethal alternative. However, he also said that had I been in Officer Pantaleo's situation, I may have made similar mistakes, but none of us can take back our decisions, particularly when they result in death of a human. Pantaleo will not receive a pension as a result of the decision, though he will be repaid what he put in to a fund. Stuart London, the ex-officer's lawyer, said Monday he expects to appeal the decision and go to court for Pantaleo's job. Pantaleo had been on desk duty when the department trial judge recommended earlier this month that the 13-year department veteran be fired. The decision to fire Pantaleo also drew the ire of police union. Patrolmen's Benevolent Association President Patrick Lynch called Pantaleo an exemplary officer and said police leadership has abandoned ship and left our officer on the street alone without backing. It's absolutely essential that the world know that the New York Police Department is rudderless and frozen, he said. Lynch also called for a no-convenience vote on the commissioner and mayor. Mayor Bill de Blasio had appraised O'Neill's decision, saying justice has been done. Sorry about the cutoff, but basically the article finishes up with the apologies of the mayor and other prominent people in New York, and it really kind of infuriated me. It made me really think that, our lives really are not taken seriously at all. It took New York Police Department 5 years to get rid of Pantaleo, and he didn't deserve his job the minute that he hung on to Eric Garner's neck one too many seconds. And that's all it took. So I just really want you guys to think about that. Please like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, because I really do need you guys to keep me going, and I really do appreciate the love you guys have been showing me, and just keep it up, and I'll keep up the hard work too.